Welcome to this channel once again. In this particular video, we'll be looking at foods you must avoid after 40. Yes, you know, of course, that as you grow older, your body begin to readjust to so many things. Your body begin to lose some functionality because of age. So you need to adapt, you need to adjust, you need to do some changes to suit your body style at that point. All right. Having said that, in our old age, particularly after 40 years old, our body is subjected to natural changes. The metabolism is lowered, the mass of muscles is decreased, hormones change, and the probability of developing the chronic diseases such as diabetes, high blood pressure, high heart disease, and joint problems grows. At this age, it can be said that what you consume can either save or silently kill your health. These are some of the main foods that you ought to begin to avoid, or more to the point, implement a serious reduction on after 40 in order to remain strong, energetic, and disease free. So, we're going to be looking at this food one after the other. The first one is refined food, sugars, and sugary drinks. Yes, refined sugars and sugary drinks. For those of you who crave a lot of carbonated soft drinks, those of you who want to eat pastries and candies and all that, you must be aware that there's a gentle danger that is hiding behind those palatable food, those things that suit your palate. There are a lot of dangers underneath it. High levels of refined sugars in foods like soft drinks, pastries, candies, sweetened cereals, and flavored yogurts may cause blood sugar spikes, insulin resistance, and undesirable weight gain. At over 40, the body loses its sensitivity to sugar, exposing one to the risk of type 2 diabetes and belly fat. Yes, of course, at this point, at this age, your body is no longer able to combat sugar as it used to be. Yeah, it begin to get insensitive to insulin, and that makes it um, prone to weight gain, unnecessary weight gain, and this eventually will push you to type 2 diabetes if you do not control it. And also, your belly fat will begin to increase. So, what better alternative do you have compared to the food we just mentioned? So, you must eat fruits, limited dates, and natural sweeteners such as honey, which you should use occasionally. All right, looking at this picture here, you can see samples of the food you must avoid. So take your time to look at them one after the other. If they're the kind of food that have been implicated in that unnecessary weight gain that you are just putting on lately or anything, or if you are not really affected, you take time to sort them out of what you have here and take them off your list so that you don't stick to the other side we are trying to avoid. Okay, the next food you need to also avoid are processed and packaged foods. Yes, sausages, canned meat, meat pie, and fast food are all full of preservatives, unhealthy fats, large quantities of salt, and artificial additives. These enhance inflammation, elevate blood pressure, and overload the heart. Of course, we see that this kind of food that we most of the time refer to as junk food do not actually contain a lot of nutrients, but they have those small chemicals that can just make the system weary. They can affect you and eventually make your body prone to inflammation. Also, because of the kind of fats that are there that can clog your blood vessels are no longer patent, and so you begin to get high blood pressure, and this will overload the heart, of course. So, healthy alternative you have in this case are homemade meals prepared from whole grains and vegetables. So, these are also the kind of food that we are looking at as this processed and packaged food. Take a look also at some of those things, the meat pie, the sausages, and whatever you call them that are here, and the canned meat and the rest, and take them off your list, or at least cut them down considerably. The next one are the fried foods. The trans fats, which are present in deep fried foods such as fries, fried chicken, puff puff, and chips, lead to the blockade of arteries and increase bad cholesterol, otherwise known as the LDL, which is the low density lipoprotein. Frequent use after 40 years puts one at risk of heart disease and joint inflammation. Of course, we have the good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol, but with these deep fried foods and so on, you get more of the bad cholesterol, which is the LDL, and that would also increase your blood pressure. And if you are not hypertensive, it would actually make you become one. And if you have hypertension already, it could worsen the situation. So at 40 and above, try and cut down on these fried foods. So better option you have is that this food, instead of being fried and so on, they should be grilled, they should be baked or air fried or steamed, at least to make them a little bit better. Then these are samples of what you should avoid: this fried chicken with skin and others, this puff puff, chips, and so on and so forth. So if you are having this as your normal breakfast or whatever, please watch them because they can destroy your health. The next one are white bread and refined carbohydrates. Refined pasta, white bread, white rice, and pastries disintegrate easily into sugar in the blood. The result is weight gain, crashes of energy, and blood sugar malfunction. So, but these things do not have, like the white rice and the white bread and so on, they don't have roughages that control how the sugars are control how the sugars are used in your bloodstream. Or in this case, they are sent directly to your bloodstream, and then they cause a lot of issues. So you must try as much as possible to reduce this kind of food also. So the healthier choice you have include whole grains like brown rice, oats, millet, whole wheat bread, and uncooked cereals. So these ones they have a lot of fibers that can help to control your blood sugar, and they of course are healthier choices. You can see this from this picture also. These are things you must avoid. So take a look, watch this video over and over again, and see how you can avoid it. So let me ask you, are you really eating healthy? What kind of food you eat? Do they have a way or another of affecting your health? Do they make you gain weight or necessarily increase your belly fat and so on? If they are, what do you want to do about them? What are you doing? What are your plans? So at the end of this video, you should be able to make healthier choices. It can help you. Next one are excessive red and processed meat. Yeah, there are those who just enjoy eating plenty meat, goat meat, cow meat, and the rest of them. That is beef and others. They feel that that is the height of enjoyment, but actually they are causing harm to their system. So excessive red meat and processed meat can cause cholesterol levels and inflammation, and in the future can lead to heart disease and some types of cancer. Of course, you can see that it is not just one type of food that is causing this cholesterol increase and the rest, that there are a collection of them. So, if for any reason you are eating the combination of these foods from different directions, you are going to be having higher risk of inflammation, higher risk of high blood pressure, and even some forms of cancer. So, healthier choice include fish, skinless chicken. That means that if you must eat chicken, you have to deskin it, you have to remove the skin because the skin contains a lot of cholesterol. But you also need to eat turkey, beans, lentils, and plant-based proteins. Yes, you can see these are red meat. You can see the color. So if you are wondering what are red meats, when you see meats like this before they are cooked or whatever, you should avoid them. Even some of them, when they are already cooked, they still look a little bit reddish. All right, next one is excess salt and salty snacks. Of course, your blood vessels get sensitive to salt as you grow older. Snacks, seasonings, and fast foods contain too much salt, which adds more risk to high blood pressure and stroke. So, salt contains sodium, which retains fluid. Yes, retain fluid in your body, in your heart, and the rest. So, the more you eat salt, the more you add table salt to your food, and so on, the higher the risk of developing hypertension. So, as you get older, you also cut down your salt level. To some persons, increase in salt will make the food more suitable, but you must know that when you say the food is suitable for you, it is actually unhealthy for you. So, better option is to use herbs, spices, garlic, onions, and natural seasoning instead of excess salt. Okay, that is salt. When we talk about excess, so we're actually referring to the one you have on your table. Now, alcohol in excess. Alcohol decreases the speed at which fat is burned, destroys the liver, impairs bones, and changes the quality of sleep, particularly after 40. So, if you must have healthier liver, if you must stay um, without issues with your bones, if you must have quality sleep after 40, please reduce the quantity of alcohol you are drinking or possibly abstain completely from alcohol. Then enhanced choice include, in case you drink, do so sparingly and prefer water and herbal teas. So these ones will give you better result than using alcohol. Of course, alcohol comes in different forms, spirits, whiskey, beer, and the rest. But whatever you think is suitable for you, you must be wise while you take them. The final advice: age 40 is not the end of health, it is an eye opener. Bypassing such food that we just mentioned before and eating more nutritious food can also help you stay energized, keep your heart healthy, manage hormones, maintain weight, and live a long, active life. Keep in mind, your food is your medicine or your disease. Choose wisely. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe for more practical health tips to help you live better and stronger. Thank you and see you in our next video.